Screen share केलं बघ बरं दिसतंय. Okay. Perfect. आवाज नाही येत. Mute केलं. इथून mute.
Hare Krishna. So we begin with a short prayer. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namaha Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachadine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashata Drishtatarini. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So we have, so I just give what is this, what we have studied till now in a very short time. And then we'll study about the session number 7, which is our second last session. So this is a course named Discover Yourself course. This is a course which has 8 sessions, and every session deals with a very important topic, which will help us to discover ourselves. This is a life which we should always, it's a very important phenomena, or it's an important factor in our life, that inquiry is the most important thing, which we always do, but our inquiries are very absurd. Like our inquiries are, when is the next model of iPhone coming? Or our inquiries are, which is the best cafe, and movies, and then whatnot. But then also it is very important to inquire about our life. And sometimes we do get these questions in our life. Where I have come from? What is my duty? Why am I here? What exactly happens after death? And then many times the answer is, I don't know. And then sometimes we go to somebody and then we try to ask you, and then he also doesn't know the answer. Where I have come from. Like sometimes you must have surely asked this question to someone, or at least to yourself. Like, kahan se aaye? And then there is no answer. Where I have come from. So it is very important to know about ourselves. So this is a discovery, and discovery is something which is already existing, and then we like research. Many of you must be into research or studying, or must have heard about the research. What is research? Something is already searched, and then they are researching the same thing. That is the research. Something was already in the existence, and they are trying to find out. So this particular course helps us to find out who we are. That's very important. As soon as we come to know who we are, then we have an immediate question: why am I here? What is my duty? If I'm here, wherever I am, why am I suffering? I'm not always happy. Like ultimately, everybody is endeavoring in this world for what? Happiness. So everybody studying, then they go for job, then they marry, they have children, they have flat, and then bungalow, and then car, and so money, everything. Ultimately, for what? The happiness. So where will I get this happiness? That's an important question which everybody is searching for. So that also we study through this particular course and discovery of the course. And then the discovery, further discovery is that, okay, I'm here. I'm here for happiness. I'm searching for happiness. And I also try to find out the path. How will I become happy? But after doing all these things, where will I land up? Because I am going to die. Everybody dies. So I am also going to die. So what happens after death? This is also a question which any intelligent man, any grown-up, mature person surely asks: what will happen to me after death? So this particular course deals with all of that. So it began in the starting about telling about existence of God. This particular course talks about God in the beginning, because God is a factor which is very, very important. Now, everybody says that Hindutva, I mean, me, oh, we, Hindu or whatever, whatever. So Hindutva means, they say, Hindutva means you should go to temple, ring a bell, and, offer some prayers. Hey, Bhagwan mujhe ye de do, janam de, sundari de, and then you come back. That is what Hindutva is. No, that is not only about the Hindutva. That is not only about knowing God. Or somebody is a Christian who goes to a church and then he prays, oh God, give me a daily bread or whatever. Or a Muslim goes and then he prays for whatever Allah, or, Buddhist will go. Every religious person will try to find out some religion, and they'll go and do some, research, or they'll try to go and find out something about it. But is that sufficient? Is that complete? Am I supposed to do something else? That's very important. And then many times this question comes to the mind of people, especially intellectual class of people. Does God exist? होता है क्या सच में? And then this particular first session deals with, yes, God exists, and he's a very important person. And then somebody say, God, okay, fine, I believe in God. He's some superior energy. Some energy is acting, and then because of that energy, something is happening. Or somebody goes and find out some discovery that, oh, they found out Dwarka, and then there is some remnants of a Dwarka in in the underwater, and then they go through the submarine, and then they found a lot of these. Oh, God must be existing, because they found out something which is 5,000 years before. And somebody found out, that there is some remnants of Lanka, there's some remnants of Ram Setu. Oh, God must be there. So, how do we understand scientifically that God exists? And further, this session talks about the ways to know about God. So this is all is explained in Bhagavad Gita. This whole course is based on Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita is a very, very important scripture. Bhagavad Gita this is not a scripture only for some one religion. It is a world book where everybody in the world studies, understands this particular knowledge through Bhagavad Gita. And then Bhagavad Gita gives answer to all the problems of our life. And all the questions will be resolved through Bhagavad Gita. And that's why this course is completely based on this book, Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is what we are going to study today about Bhagavad Gita. It is a song of God. God has personally given. After understanding that, okay, God exists, then how do we understand God and the ways of gaining knowledge? It talks about 3 ways of gaining knowledge. Anybody knows which are the 3 ways of gaining knowledge? You want to try? Okay. So there are 3 ways of gaining knowledge. The first way of gaining knowledge is, if God exists, show me here. That's the many people challenge. Bhagwan hote hai na, to dikhao. But then, that is not the exact way of knowing God. Like that's called as a pratyaksha brahma. That pratyaksha mein dikhao. You show me here. If it is present, then I'll understand, I'll accept it. But then I have a question, counter question to such argument of a person. Behind this wall, there are 10 people standing. If I say, can you prove it sitting here? That's not possible. So, if you cannot prove, then how will you prove somebody who is on a very different platform? And that's why there it comes 4 defects of a human being. Every human being has 4 defects. Or every living entity, I would say. Not only human being, every living. The 4 defects are, he has imperfect senses. Sometimes you walk on the street and then you're confused. What kind of smell it is? Is it a vada pav? No. It is kachori. No. It is some sweet. Because your smell, the capacity to smell of your sense nose does not have a perfection, 100% perception, by which you can exactly know what it is. Or as I said, that behind this wall there are 10 people standing. No, you cannot see. Your eyes, because of this wall, your eyes do not have that perfection to see. Or your tongue cannot perfectly understand all the taste. Like if you are offered 100 varieties of sweet, can we tell that how much was the sugar in that particular sweet? No, not possible, because that capacity is not there, because it does not have a perfection. So similarly, our senses are imperfect. And because of imperfect senses, what happens is that we commit mistakes. As the same example goes, that 10 people. So we say that no, there are not 10, there are 5 people. Because our eyes cannot visualize. Like there is the air present, yes, air present in this room. Can you see the air? No. So similarly, these eyes cannot perceive perfectly, and that's why it may commit mistake. And that happens very often. Like, the example of a mirage is given. The Chataka bird, he drinks only a water which comes from rains. The raindrops only he drinks, nothing else. He will not go and drink any other water. So he waits for a rain to come. And then he is in the hot sun, very thirsty, very hungry. He wants water. And then Chataka bird, what he sees that, he sees on the distance there is some water falling. And he says, oh, it's raining there, let's run. And then he runs. As soon as he reaches there, he finds that is a mirage. You must have seen mirage, Brugajal, on the hot sunny day on the road. You see that there's some water is falling. But no, it's not a real water. As soon as Chataka bird reaches there, he is again thirsty. He's again. So he has an imperfect senses that he visualized. He thought there is a what is happening. He visualized that there is some water, but then that is not a real water. And then so similarly, we also have imperfect senses, and because of imperfect senses, the next mistake which a human being or any living entity can commit is that he commits mistake. And then as soon as we commit a mistake, what we do is we try to hide it. Any mistake is there, we try to cover it. And then as soon as we try to cover the mistake, for covering the mistake, what we have to do is cheat. It is generally said that if you lie once, to cover that lie, you have to, एक झूठ बोला तो उसको cover करने के लिए you have to speak at least 10 times lie. You have to speak 10 lies. 10 झूठ बोलना पड़ता है. So what is the third weakness or a mistake in a human or any living entity is, third thing is that he commits, second is commit mistake, and then third comes the cheating propensity. There is a cheating propensity in everyone. You see around, like Prabhupada, our founder actually of ISKCON, he would always say that in this world you will always find cheaters and cheated. Somebody will get cheated and somebody will be a cheater. And then because he got cheated, he will try to cheat someone. Always this, shrinkla, this chain is always going on. Cheaters and cheated business. So that's why a person, because of his imperfect senses, he commits mistake. To hide that mistake, he cheats. The cheating propensity is the third mistake or of a living entity. And then the fourth thing, and he cheated, and he cheated because of what? Illusory energy. And what happens that he gets illusion. I gave this example of a Chataka bird. The Chataka bird thought there is a water. He got illusion. Bhram mein chala gaya. And then because of that, he gets into illusion. So these are the four defects of a human being. Always remember this, that he has what the first thing? Imperfect senses. Second, commits mistake. Third, cheating propensity. And fourth, he is illusion. To be illusion is the fourth defect of a living entity. And because of this defect, the Pratyaksha Praman is not complete. Then the second Pramana to gain the knowledge is Anuman. Anuman is not Hanuman. Hanuman is Anuman Praman. Anuman is like he guessed. You say that ye Anuman says like there are so many scientists trying to find out the distance of Earth and Sun, which is already given in Hanuman Chalisa. But then they are trying to find out. They don't know how it. Or they try to find out. Okay, we could find out that the distance between Earth to Sun is this much, but then distance between Earth to this particular planet, or they have landed on a moon, they have landed on a Mars, but then Mars must be having this, and then there may be living entity, that may not be living entity. So what is happening here is that they're just trying to put some anuman, and because of this anuman, they're not, that knowledge is also not perfect. By anuman se hum Bhagwan ko nahi samajh sakte. Now all these pramanas are for what? First we saw is pratyaksha, and then we saw four defects, so pratyaksha praman is not complete. Then we saw anuman praman. That the anuman praman is that the guess that this must be. So can you guess God and understand? By guess, so many things are coming. Oh, the guess was whether God is a feminine or masculine. Man है, so it is just स्त्री और पुरुष. भगवान स्त्री है या पुरुष है? ऐसा का अनुमान लगाने का प्रयास कर रहे हैं. भगवान काले हैं, गोरे हैं. भगवान जो है वो क्या है? So many guesses, so many anuman people try to put and try to understand God. Whether he is a light or he is a personality, or whether whether he's big or he's small, or whether he's also sad or he's always happy. So many Anuman people try to do. And that's why to understand God, a very important factor comes, which is a third Praman called as the Shabda Praman. Shabda also means sound. By sound, we can understand. What does that mean? Sound means now I'm speaking to you. So I'm creating some sound, and then that sound is going to you. In this world, when it comes to our enjoyment, we always believe on sound. जैसे दोस्त बोलता है, अरे let's go to Goa. Goa is the best place to go, and you'll have a lot of fun, and then you drink and you go around. It's the best place on this whole planet. And then we believe, yes, yes, yes. मेरे दोस्त ने बताया, that must be perfect. I will go and try to enjoy it. And then you go there and you may drink, you may go around, and then you may get stuck in traffic jam, or you may have some fights, quarrels, somebody cheated you, and then you're frustrated and you come back. And then after going, "Arey, nahi, उसने झूठ बोला." No, that is not the case with knowing about God. तो भगवान को अगर जानना है तो वो शब्द प्रमाण से जानना है. If you want to know God, you should know through sound. And then that sound is what? That sound is from the authoritative person. The person who has understood about God, who has realized God, who has studied God, that person should tell. And that's why it is always encouraged in our culture to take satsang. हमें बहुत बार बोला जाता है आप जाओ और सत्संग में जाके बैठो. Like just 50 to 60 years or maybe 70 years before, the culture of India was very different. Like people who go to farm, work in the farm for the whole day. Evening they would come home, eat, and then go and sit in kirtan, conversion. Everywhere, wherever you go. You go to Bengal, you go to South India, you go to Maharashtra, any part of it. Every evening they would sit and do hear kirtan. And then that everybody is encouraged to go and take satsanga. Satsang means association of a sadhu. And sadhu is who has controlled his senses. Sadhu is the one who has studied and understood about God, who knows the scriptures thoroughly. That person can be called as a sadhu or a guru, and then you hear from him. So the Shabda Praman is also known as the authoritative knowledge which is coming from God. Now you may say that like there are so many arguments people put here. Bhagavad Gita is spoken 5,000 years before by Krishna and Arjuna. What is the guarantee that is the same word which is given now? Anybody who wants to challenge, they'll challenge. Proof दिखाओ 5,000 साल पहले. Like go and study the history. They may say that 400 years before Shivaji Maharaj history and now history there is a difference. And then they say no, you go and study this Bakri and then you study this and that and this historian, and then they come to conclusion this must be the right history. So how do we understand that knowledge coming from God is what I am receiving, and that knowledge is the same? And for that, you need a chain in between. That chain is the chain of a guru and shishya chain. That is called parampara. So parampara is a very important factor by which we receive knowledge. So knowledge is given by Krishna to, like there are 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas where Krishna gave knowledge to Lakshmi ji, then he gave knowledge to Shivji, then he gave knowledge to Brahma, and then he gave knowledge to Chatushkumar. And then there are n number of gurus and shishya disciple, guru and disciple succession chain which is coming, and through that the whole knowledge is coming. And that's how Bhagavad Gita is the authoritative scripture which gives a knowledge about God incomplete. So if you want to know God in your own ways, but you don't have a clear understanding, better to study Bhagavad Gita. And if we study Bhagavad Gita, we can understand God in that. And that same Bhagavad Gita tells about yourself also. Arjuna had this query that who am I? Why am I here? Why should I fight? I don't want to fight. If I fight, then I'll commit a sin. If I'm going to commit a sin, then what is the point? I'll go to hell and suffer and all. So Krishna tells you're not going to commit a sin. You're not the killer. You cannot kill anyone. He says, how? How can I kill? I'm here standing with my Gandiva bow arrow. If I shoot an arrow, there are hundreds who will be killed at a time. So Krishna says, no, you cannot kill anyone. Nainam chandanti shastrani, nainam dhati pavaka. You cannot even kill a soul. You cannot wet a soul. You cannot do anything. And there comes the knowledge about ourselves. So this particular chapter, this particular course also talks in the next session, who are you? Like if I ask this question to you, who are you? What do you answer, Rajaji? Huh?
About myself,
Yeah. So you may say that I'm a whatever, engineer, doctor, pharmacist, or whatever. Or if somebody say I'm a boy, somebody say I'm a whatever, husband, or whatever, XYZ thing. So prime minister, I'm a prime minister, chief minister, I'm a chief minister. But then, is that the identity permanent? Is that the identity always? No, identity keeps on changing. So our real identity is what? Is I am soul. मैं कौन हूँ? आत्मा हूँ. मैं शरीर नहीं हूँ. All these identities belongs to this body. And that's why, like if somebody say that I'm a young man, will he be young man throughout his life? No. Afterwards, he has to say that I'm a middle age, or I'm grown up, and then I'm mature, and then I'm old. So there is a change, right? The identity which is belonging to the body is changing. I always give this example. You may sometimes we say that I have मेरे दांत में दर्द है, right? This is a very often we go to doctor and doctor बोलते हैं दोस्तों को बोलते हैं मेरे दांत में दर्द है, मेरा हाथ दर्द हो रहा है, मेरा पैर दर्द हो रहा है, मेरा सर दर्द हो रहा है. And doctor asked him that ये मेरा कौन इसको point out करो. What is saying? मेरा हाथ दर्द हो रहा है, मेरा दांत दर्द हो रहा है, मेरा सर दर्द हो रहा है. तो हाथ पैर तो पॉइंट आउट कर सकते हैं हम लोग. मैं कौन हूँ? Who am I? That's a very important thing. That is the soul. So we see a dead body, and then after seeing a dead body, few hours before he was either sitting, walking, talking. He was moving, right? He was having the movement. How was that movement? And then after some time, there is no movement at all. He's not talking, he's not moving, he's not walking, he's not doing anything. What is the change? The change is very simple. The spirit soul from his body is disappeared. Is moved to another body. So that's how it becomes a dead body. So Bhagavad Gita talks about who are you, and then Bhagavad Gita talks about what are your duties being a human, what are your duties being a you know being a responsible son, what are your duties being a responsible citizen, and what are your duties being a responsible person as a self. So our duty is to connect ourselves to God. So that's why Bhagavad Gita talks about different yogas. The Bhagavad Gita talks about, you must have heard karma yoga, karma kar, pal ki apeksha mat kar. It's a very common statement in India. Karma yoga, and then we hear about jnana yoga, and we also hear about ashtanga yoga. We hear about bhakti yoga. What is the meaning of yoga? Any one of you? क्या अर्थ होता है योग का? कभी सोचा तो होगा? योगा बोले तो हमें तुरंत याद आता है some postures, Padmasan or maybe Shavasana. What is the meaning of this word yoga? To control the senses, okay. Any other? Because that's what is told in yoga. That's why you are right. Pratyahara is one of the states in yoga. Yama, niyama, pratyahara, all talk about controlling the senses and do's and don'ts. Anything else? Not to Google it. So yoga means union with God or connection with God. So Karma Yoga talks about connection with God, Jnana Yoga talks about it, Ashtanga Yoga talks about it, and ultimately Bhakti Yoga, which is the best of the yoga, talks about connection to the God. So that is also spoken everything in Bhagavad Gita. So that's why Bhagavad Gita is the best book for every human being to study. And if other animals can also understand, they can also study. But then best book for a human being to study. So this whole course is depend on this particular factor or this particular topic. Discover yourself depends on Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is the reference book for this book. This course is designed by Radhesham Prabhu. So he's passed out from IIT. He's done his MTech from IIT Mumbai. He's a gold medalist. Apart from that, he's given this message for last more than 30 years. And thousands of youths are benefited because of this knowledge. Like you see around you, these boys are also benefited because of this knowledge. And you all also will be very much benefited. So after studying all these things, now we have reached to a place about a world which we are staying into, which is a miserable world. Like you go around everywhere, you see a miserable, but people are really miserable. Like somebody may say, "No, but sir, I have seen Ambani, the richest people of the Asia. They have so much. Whatever they just click and then they get immediately. How can you say they are sad? You should just go and hear the words of what is the son's name who got married recently? Anand Ambani. You should hear his word, Anand Ambani's word, in his pre-wedding uh, in Jamnagar. He spoke there for 5 minutes. He spoke. He says there that I have everything, whatever I want, whatever I desire, I can get of this world. Not out of this world, but at least in this world, he can whatever he desires to get. But unfortunately, I cannot enjoy. I'm suffering through a health disease, and because of that, every day I have a fear that I may die at any time. So, my dear friends, everyone in this world is fearful, everyone in this world is sad, everyone in this world is miserable, and everything in this world is if it's not permanent, it's temporary. Nothing is permanent. Can you tell me anything which is permanent in this world? Just think about it. Anything in this world which is permanent. Okay, any temporary thing in this world which you can understand. So beautiful long hairs. Will they be permanent? No, they are temporary. If you just look at our own body, nothing is permanent. Just take your photo 10 years before and then look at it. Like you take your Aadhaar card, generally your Aadhaar card must be having some photo which was 10 years before. And then you say, "Ye main hu, ye to main nahi hu." So this particular topic, which we are discussing today, is talking about
Let's change color. इसे आज change करा लगा.
this is good.
इथे change करावं लागेल आधी. काय करायला? तिकडे जाऊन बघ.
So discover the happy planet is the topic of the discussion today, where every moment is a festival. We have discussed some of the points, but we'll just go through it fast. Miserable material world. So this particular word, which is called as a miserable, is called as a material world. So there are two words which are there. One is called Prabhupada is to say that there is a material sky and there is a spiritual sky. So there is, you must have heard very commonly said in India that Vaikuntha mein jana hai. Like they write Vaikuntha Vasi, Swarga Vasi, like that they write. So, or you go and talk to Christian person, or the Muslims, they say that Jannat jana hai, Jahannam jana hai, hell jana hai, heaven. Either you reach to hell or heaven. And then we have a higher understanding that is reaching to a Vaikuntha planet. So there is Vaikuntha, and there is something which is a Kuntha. So this particular where we are staying is a Kuntha Jagat. Kuntha means miseries. Vaikuntha is without miseries, where there are no miseries. So miserable material world is the place we are staying. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has given a tagline, like you go and study under some school and then they have Vidya Vinaya Sampanne or Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. In schools you see that is Vridavakya. Similarly to this material world, he has mentioned something that is called Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. Dukkhalayam, like you go to a school that's called Vidyalaya, where you earn Vidya. You go and study Vidya. And somebody may go to a drinking place that's called Madiralaya. So similarly, this material world is called as Dukkhalaya. This Dukkha ka alaya hai. It is a place of misery. And the second thing is Ashashvata. There is nothing which is permanent. Ashashvata. Shashvat means permanent. Ashashvat means temporary. Everything in this world is temporary. And because it is a temporary, people are miserable. And most important that we are attached to the body. We go and look into the mirror and they say, yes, I am the most beautiful person on this planet. Yes, मेरे जैसा कोई नहीं और मेरे जैसा intelligent कोई नहीं. But how long? How long? This body is not permanent. This world is not permanent. Nothing around this is permanent. It's temporary. And that's why this is a miserable material world. And there is something called as a blissful spiritual world. If we really want happiness, everybody is searching for happiness. Everyone wants happiness. Where is that happiness existing? It is in spiritual world. So by connecting ourselves with the God through the process of yoga, we can reach to this place of spiritual world. Have you heard about Tukaram Maharaj? Hmm? Tukaram Maharaj is a very saintly person from Maharashtra. Very close by, it's just Deku. It's around 30 kilometers from here, less than 30 kilometers. So that is a place where he lived throughout his life. He was a very devoted to Lord Vithala. And then Tukaram Maharaj, at the end of his life, there was a special aeroplane came. He sat in that aeroplane and went to Vaikuntha. आम्ही जातो आमच्या गावा आमचा राम राम घ्यावा. He says this at the end that I'm going to my own village. आम्ही जातो आमच्या गावा. I'm going to my own village and I say Ram Ram to you. I'm going. That village is our permanent place. That is blissful spiritual world, Vaikuntha. And that has happened just 400 years before. People have watched, and now also people experience on the Tukaram beach. They experience that Tukaram Maharaj, the aeroplane is, the place from where the aeroplane gave that whole tree shakes. So there is a blissful spiritual world where ultimately everybody has to go because nobody is happy in this world. Nobody wants to stay in such a place. Like if we are put into a jail, and then jail, we are asked to stay in the jail for the eternity. Maybe no, just difficult. We cannot stay in the jail for eternity. So similarly, this material world is a jail. And then how will I achieve this from material world to spiritual world? So there is a formula which is called as the ABCDE formula. So temporary nature of the material world, the bodies of the beauty queen who are in their youth makes men go crazy. There are so many. Because right up in the old age, like a grapes turn into resins. So people run away. Why can't the beauty of this material remain permanent? We tend to forget the real permanent substance soul and give importance to the shadow that is body. So everybody is forgetting soul. And that's why they're miserable and they're giving importance to this body, thinking that it's permanent. So there's a story of a liquid beauty. Have you heard about this story, liquid beauty story? So there's a person, actually a king. He saw a very beautiful woman in his city, and then he goes and proposes her that I want to marry you. So this lady says, "Okay, you are a king, so I have to fulfill your desire, but I just have a request that please come after 7 days." So this person said, "Okay, I'll come after 7 days." So king is waiting 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 4 day, 5 day, and then he was very desperate. He reaches to her house on the 7th day, and he knocks on the door, and then a lady opens the door, and he says, "Where is that beautiful lady? I want to see her. I want to meet her." She said, "I'm the same." "No, no, you are not the same. I want to meet that lady who was extremely beautiful. Her, she was shining and effulgent, this, that, and she was perfect match for me." He said, "I am the same lady." And he observed, "Oh, you look similar. What happened to you? You look so old. You look so fragile. Where is your beauty gone?" She says, "Come inside, I'll show you the beauty." And then there were pots filled with all vomiting and all dirty stuff. So what happened? So this is my real beauty. So she took some medicines by which she was completely having a dysentery and vomiting, and she collected all that liquid in those pots. And then she said that this is my real beauty. As soon as I lost all of this, my whole shine and everything is gone, and I look like an old person. You are running behind something which is not real. And then this king was realized, oh, this is something very serious. So this is a difference in this material world. Our material body belongs to the material world. Material body is perishable, full of ignorance and pain producing. We do have so much pain. Every person who is at the age of 55, 60 now has a knee pain, back pain, especially the hard-working software engineers and who is sitting on the chair has splits. What is that? Sleep disc and so many other varieties of problems. So many things. So this material body is full of, it's a perishable, full of ignorance and pain. But spiritual body is permanent, full of knowledge and bliss producing. And that's why a spiritual body is called as a Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means eternal, Chit means full of knowledge, and Ananda means full of bliss. So if we have a lot of knowledge, full of knowledge, if it is eternally the same and it is full of bliss, why will not go to that? So that is available in spiritual world. The spirit soul belongs to the spiritual world. Not getting into a lot of details. So soul originally belongs to the spiritual world, where every word is a song, every walk is a dance, every water is like a nectar. All living beings are pure, and there is no old age, disease, and death. Imagine if you will always remain young. There is no disease at all. There is no death happening. Why we will not like to go to that place? That's the best place to go, stay. That is the glory of the spiritual world. That is our real eternal home, where we can get unlimited, unending happiness. Thus, goal of our life is to go back, come back to Godhead. That is the spiritual world. And why does the soul leave the spiritual world and come to this material world? So you may say that, oh, that's a permanent place, that's such a making place. Then why am I here? That's the question. That's how we discover ourselves. मैं इधर कर क्या रहा हूँ और मैं आया कैसे? How I reached here? That's how we follow. The material world is compared to a picture. So it is a desire of a living entity which brought a living entity here. So we were happily staying in this spiritual world in Vaikuntha. But then we desired that I want to be separate. Like, we are going to see that story also. We are going to watch that video also. And if a son says, I want to be separate from a father, I don't want to be with father. Then he goes and then he suffers and ultimately he realizes, no, that is not the right place. My father's shelter is the right place. That is our situation. We wanted to be away from God. We told God, I want something separate. And then God had to create a material world. And this material world is a jail. He had to create a material world and come here. And then we are into a prison. So this is a nice quiz. So jail, what is jail? It's material world. The jail keeper is Maya Devi. The food are the food grains, medicine, herbs, check shirts. Everybody is offered some special dress in the jail. So that is a material body. It's changing. The whips, they are given beatings, very badly beatings. So whatever he is lamenting, illusion, hunger, thirst, if the whips release, he is released from the jail. That is going to Vaikuntha, going to back to body. Stay in the state, stay in the spiritual world. Laws of the state, laws of the God. And the prime minister of the state is God. So we have to quit this material world and go to spiritual world. So, this one, a boy may adamantly want a car. He says, Daddy, I want car, Daddy, I want car. There's a father gives him a peddling car to satisfy him. He's saying, I want car, then dad says, no, I'm not going to give you. Then he says, oh, you always do this. And dad is taking it in the lap and he's trying to console. No, you are cheating me. He's insisting, no, I want car. Like, God is also telling so many messages God gives. Like somebody takes a cigarette packet in his hand. And then there is a message which comes. There's obviously inner voice comes and says that, hey, ganda hai mat karo. It's bad, don't do it. But still he wants to do. Then he takes a packet and there is a horrible photo of a cancerous patient on the packet. And then it is written that smoking is hazardous to the health, it is dangerous to the health. And still that person wants to, he's adamant, I want to enjoy. And then he takes it and then he has to go through so many difficulties of a liver or lungs or, so many other problems and he has to suffer. Similarly, this boy is adamant. Similarly, a living entity was adamant, saying that I don't want to stay with you, God, I want to stay separate. And because he was adamant, God created this material world. As this small child was given this peddling car. So that is the situation. And that's how this material world is there. What gives happiness to the fish which is out of water? Can a fish be happy out of water? See, if he gets this, maybe he's happy, no? He gets a smoking cigar, he gets a smartphone, or he gets burger to eat, he gets a lot of money, he should be happy. That is our situation, my dear friends. We have everything, or we may get everything, but still we are not happy. And that's what I told you the story of Anandaman. He has everything, but then still he is suffering and then he is miserable. So that is called as a fish out of water. The fish is all given a hand and tie and cigarette and burger and mobile, or deodorant or whatever he wants, but still he cannot be happy. He'll be always happy in the water, and that happiness is a spiritual word. We are like a lost son of a billionaire father.
Man had two sons.
Can you see this?
The younger son told his father, "Father, I want my share of your estate now, before you die." So his father agreed to divide his wealth between his sons. A few days later, his younger son packed all his belongings and moved to a distant land, and there he wasted all his money in wild living. Over my head! About the time his money ran out, a great famine swept over the land, and he began to starve. This wonderful business declared him, and the man sent him into his fields to feed the pigs. The young man became so hungry that even the pods he was feeding the pigs looked good to him, but no one gave him anything. When he finally came to his senses, he said to himself, "At home, even the hired servants have food enough to spare, and here I am dying of hunger." He wasted everything his father gave him. While he had the job of feeding the pigs, the young man became so hungry that even the pots he was feeding the pigs looked good to him. No one gave him anything. Then he came to his senses and said, "My father's workers have plenty to eat, and here I am starving to death." Go to my father and say to him, "Father, I have sinned against God in heaven and against you. I am no longer good enough to be called your son. Treat me like one of your workers." he was still a long way off. His father saw him and felt sorry for him. He ran to his son. Hugged and kissed him. Hurry, bring your best clothes and put them on him. Give everything for his finger and sandals for his feet. The son of light was dead, has now come back to life. He was lost, has now been found. And they began to celebrate.
So this is how our situation is in this world, that we are a lost son, and then our billionaire father is God. As soon as we go and meet God, He'll embrace us, and then He'll be very happy. So that's why our endeavor should be to leave this material world and be a part of the spiritual world. So how is that possible? What is spirituality? What exactly am I supposed to do? The spirit soul in the spiritual world derive great joy in the loving service to the Lord. So as soon as it comes, who am I? I'm a soul. What is my dharma? What am I supposed to do? Then he said, Jivera Swarupa, Krishna Nityadas, is a servant of God. As soon as we accept this mood, like this person, you in the video you saw, you're saying, better, my father has a servants who have so much. I have to see this nonsense. That also I'm not getting sufficiently. If my father's servant gets so much, I'll become a servant of my father. As soon as he shows this, he decided to come to his father, and then father embraced him and gave him so much. So there comes the example of Hanumanji. Hanumanji was, this is a part of a Ramayana when there was a fight between Ravana and Ram was going. So at one point, Lakshman fell unconscious. And then Hanumanji was told that you should go and get a special jadi buti. From which parvat? Huh? Sanjeevani Buti from is a hill name. Huh? Dronadri. From Dronadri you can get. In Dronadri he picked up one hill and then he came. I'm not sure. Dronadri. So he goes there and then on the way he suddenly was requested by a Brahmana. He told when Brahmana came and he said, "Oh Brahmana, oh Hanumanji, come here, come down, and I'll offer some fruits to you." Because it was a request of Brahmana, Hanumanji got down, and then as soon as he got down, he told that you go and take bath in the river, and by that time I'll make some arrangement. And then he goes into the river, and there was a crocodile in the river. And then this crocodile caught hold of Hanumanji, and then Hanumanji had a fight with it, and then that crocodile turned into a Rakshasa. And then Hanumanji killed that Rakshasa. And then he came back, and then this Brahmana who was there in front of Hanumanji, he also turned into Rakshasa. And then they had a fight. So they were the messengers of God. So basically, messenger of Ravana. So Ravana had sent them on the way to distract Hanumanji. So similarly, there will be a lot of distraction coming on our path also towards God. And like today you have come here, you are sitting here, and some of your friends may come and say, "Hey, why do you go there? Hear that sadhu? What is the need?" And so many people. I also remember when I attended this course first time, my friends were also telling, "What is the need of studying Bhagavad now? Then study later. Spirituality is to be practiced when? बुढ़ापे का है वो अभी का नहीं है, right? It's a common saying India, parents or some elderly people, अरे अभी का नहीं है, बुढ़ापे में करना होता है. So there was one of our devotees tells a very nice thing. Like we request people to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. I think you chanted today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So there was saint who was going to a person and telling that you are a young man, you should chant Hare Krishna. He said, not now, I have to study. I have to do a lot of things. I have friends, I have to enjoy so many things, not now, later. So he completed his graduation, got into a job. Recently, person again after 4 or 5 years went to him and said, now at least you chant Hare Krishna. He said, not now. Now I'm just thinking of getting married. Let me get married. As I'm looking for a beautiful girl. And then he got married, and then he had children also. The same person again after 5, 7 years went to. But now you have children, you are married, you are earning also. You should now at least chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. No, no, I have a lot of responsibility. Can you imagine our children, their education, their everything? Finally, his children got married. He became old. He was 55, 60-year-old. He went and said, you are 55, 60-year-old. At least now you chant this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He said, no, no, my children are not responsible. And they are not doing anything properly. I have to still take care. Like they are not taking care of home. I have to look after home. I'm retired, but still I have to do so many jobs. I don't have time. Whenever you go and tell people that, can you please take this Bhagavad Gita, study Bhagavad Gita? No, no, sir, I don't have time. Can you chant Hare Krishna? No, I have no time. Now, if you see, this world is the fastest world, right? This world, but current time is called the fast time. Like people have washing machine to wash clothes. They don't have to sit, put soap, bang up on the stone and wash clothes. Nahi karna padta. They don't have to go to a river to wash clothes. They have a machine, they go clothes get washed. If they have to move from one place to another place, they don't have to walk or sit in the bullock cart and slowly go. Just have a car, a jet, and aeroplane, railway, so many things. Fast. Everything is fast in this world. But you go to people and ask them, can you please come to satsang? No, I have no time. Now your clothes are washed by machine, your food is delivered by whatever, Zomato, and then you are, driving your car and these things to drive. Everything is fast, but still you don't have a time. That's a very unfortunate situation. And those days, they had nothing, but they had a lot of time. So we really have to find out where we are. So, where I was? Why did I come to time? Not Sanjeevi. Before that, I was telling. What I was telling you? Just, huh? Devotion to God. Distraction. I was talking about distraction. So there will be so many distractions in this world which will distract us from the path of God. So Hanumanji was distracted like this. But then Hanumanji went, he picked up the, this hill and then came with the Sanjeevani booty. He was not knowing which one to pick. There was so much. He picked up the whole hill. He was perfect in service. He was so much perfect in service that, he was always looking for Lord Rama and Krishna. There's another story which comes in of Hanumanji. After this whole war, they went to Ayodhya. And after going to Ayodhya, Hanumanji was always next to Lord Ram. Either Mother Sita was getting a personal time, no other ministers were getting time. Hanumanji was always serving Lord Ram. They said, let's list down the services of Hanumanji, what all he does for Ram. So they listed, and then they distributed among themselves. That Sita will do this minister will do this, that minister will, Bharat will do this, Lakshman will do this. And they did not give any service to Hanuman. And Hanuman is called as one of the most intelligent person. So next day they announced that these are the services of everyone. And then Hanumanji found that he has nothing to do. And then he was sad for some time. But then he said, oh, you missed one thing. Well, what? Agar Bhagwan ne jambai di, if Lord Ram yawns, there should be somebody to do tickling in front of him. Oh, acha. Okay, Hanumanji, you do this, the minister said. And then Hanumanji said, oh, but we don't know which time Lord Ram will yawn. So I have to be there next day to 24 hours. So that's how he was one of the best servants. So the point is, he was in the service to God. He was extremely happy. So that's why a spiritual world, the soul is extremely happy doing service. Soul can be happy only by rendering loving service to the God, to the Supreme Lord in the spiritual world. So how is the question? From this to that, from material world to spiritual world. And this is the formula which is called A, B, C, D, E formula. Our life begins with ABCD. Like I always tell that, people say that, I went to a person, I was giving a value education program in one school. And the principal of the school had a big nameplate, very big nameplate. His name was, Dr. So-and-so. And then he had degrees, BA, MA, LLB, PhD, this, that. Pura whole nameplate was filled with degrees. So I was very surprised that this person is identifying himself with so many degrees. But then will this degree be continued in next life? Person will die, he'll take birth, and then what he'll start with? A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, and D for dog. Then he'll achieve PhD, he'll achieve many degrees, he'll go through, die, and again starts with A, B, C, D, E. So we really have to think where I'm going, whether I should take again birth, where should I land up? That's very important. And that's why for that, this ABCD formula will help us a lot. What is this ABCD formula? A, B, C, D, E. How to align with God and nature? A, B, C, D, E formula. A for association. Satsanga, what we are talking about. What kind of association? Jaisa sang, vaisa rang. A person becomes the way he associates with. कोई एक दिन में बेवड़ा नहीं बनता है. If he wants to be a drunkard, then he has to stay with someone. Somebody will come and say, "Arey, kya hota hai?" And then he'll glorify, and then you go high forever, and this and that. And then after that, he will drink once, and then it is bitter. I do not like it. And then second time, and then third time, and then somebody will glorify, take him around with, and then he becomes a drunkard. So similarly, if somebody really wants to be a sadhu in the sense a spiritualist on the path of spiritual life, then he has to associate rightly, and that is association of a saintly person. B for books. So Harry Potter is not going to take us to spiritual world. He may sit on a jhadu and go around somewhere, but not the spiritual world. It's good to read for entertainment, but then there are books which will show us the right path towards God, and that is Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and so many books, which are our Vedic scriptures. हमारे जो वैदिक धर्म ग्रंथ है, that is about books. Then comes C. C for chanting. By chanting the holy name of Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, we can attain God. D for diet. You are what you take in. This is the English saying. आपने सुना होगा. You are what you take in. So what kind of food we are eating, we become that kind of person. We see sometimes people. I recently went to Manipur, and Manipur, there are a lot of crises going on. The reason behind the crisis is the short-tempered people there. There are so many short-tempered people, and the reason of short-tempered people because everybody eats very very spicy. Very very normal spice is understood, but this is super spicy. And then normal people also tell that ये तीखा खाते हैं, तीखा बोलते हैं, तीखा रहते हैं. They're always spicy. That's what. So our personality becomes like that. So D for diet and E for engagement, that is seva, service to God. Hanumanji is the example. Let's say association. If you have a good association, it will take you up. If you have bad association, it will take you down. Everybody has experienced this in life. There will be some friend who will do all stupid things, nonsense. He'll do a time pass. He'll not allow you to study. He'll not allow you to think properly. And then we go down, down, down. But if you find some scholar, intelligent person who's helping you, next to you, you'll always feel encouraged and go ahead. Bad association will take you down. And then, बचपन से ये सुनते आ रहे, right? अच्छे संग में रहना, तुम्हारे दोस्त अच्छे होने चाहिए. Everybody's parents will always make sure that association is good. So there comes a story of two parrots. These two parrots were brothers. One parrot went to, so these two parrots were given, they were in a cage and then they were given to somebody. So एक parrot जो है वो दिया गया था butcher को, कत्ल खाने में. Butcher, what do you call it? कसाई को दिया था. और एक पैरेट जो है वो राजा के पास चला गया. तो नेक्स्ट डे एक साधु जो है, he was walking on the path, and then he walked from the place where this butcher's parrot was hanged in the cage, and then this parrot started shouting, "पकड़ो पकड़ो उसको, मारो मारो, kill him, beat him, पकड़ो पकड़ो, काटो काटो." The sadhu was shocked. Why is this parrot shouting like that? And then after some time, this parrot walked. He went to the palace of a king. And as soon as he entered there was a parrot in the cage. He said, "Welcome, welcome, please come, please sit, have some nice fruit, have some water. How can I serve you?" This parrot started saying like this. So this person was perplexed. This sadhu said, "Oh, did he ask this parrot, What happened? You are speaking so sweetly, and your brother is so harsh. He's telling Pakdo, Pito, Maro, Kado. He said we were two brothers. But then he associated with the butcher, and then that is the situation. And then I got association of a king and saints, and that's why I'm like this. So how we become with whom we associate. Books. I'm just going fast now to cover because it's already almost 8:25. So there are books in the universities also. These university books can give us some knowledge which will help us in this material world. But to go to spiritual world, the best thing is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is Bhagavad Gita. Gita means song. It is a song of God. It is personally sung by Krishna. Yes, Svayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmat Vinishruta. This is a knowledge which is coming from the Padmanabha, that is Lord Krishna. That's why this book will surely help us. And we also discussed about how this book is very important. And so many great personalities have glorified about it. C, A for association, B for books, C for chanting. So chanting the holy name of Lord, that is especially the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is very, very important. By chanting the holy name of Lord, we can remember God. Our meditation will be about God. I always give this example, like those days when there was a radio. Now you have FM, right? FM or radio, which is on YouTube, whatever. So those days in radio, I remember every house morning 6 o'clock they used to switch on the radio, and then on the radio they used to hear, "का स्वागत है आप आकाशवाणी का 101 FM पे भक्ति गीत सुन रहे हैं." And then morning itself to start with केशवा माधवा तुझा नाम करे गौरवा. I remember whole day that particular thing used to ring. वही आ रहा था. Same thing used to go, and then we used to also go murmur sometimes. "केशवा माधवा तुझा नाम करे गौरवा." Unknowingly, suddenly it used to come. So similarly, if we morning time, if we spend for spiritual practice, then that is the best practice of spirituality is chanting Hare Krishna. If we do that, then the whole day we will remember God. And by remembrance to the God, one day will come that we will always remember God. And by chanting, what happens? It is proven. It is proven scientifically also. There was a research recently done in IIT Kanpur about chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. How this chanting has, it has helped to get a peace of mind, satisfaction, happiness. Not only that, it is also recovering a person from diseases. So many diseases. This particular topic, chanting itself, is a topic to discuss for 1 hour. So we're not getting into it. Next time when we meet, we'll discuss more about it. So by chanting Hare Krishna, we can get boundless happiness. Diet, as I said, you are what you take in. When we eat food, it produces 3 parts. Turns into blood and distributed to the whole body from heart. The food turns into blood and then it goes to the heart. It turns into stool and urine and flushed to the system. And it goes to the brain, producing a consciousness depending on a type of a food. So either it turns into blood or it turns into stool and urine. And third part, which is very superior, which is very subtle, which we cannot see, that is, it picks your consciousness. As I gave this example of a Manipuri person, that if somebody is eating spicy, he's very short-tempered. He's always angry. Similarly, this food changes our consciousness. And that's why our food, if the food is in Sattva, Raja and Tamas, it accordingly produces good and bad effect. So it is passion, it is ignorance, and it is goodness. So diet is a very, very important thing. Spiritual diet or food is called as a prasad, which purifies our consciousness, creating a favorable situation for absorbing good things in our life. So diet is taking Krishna prasad. And that's why our culture is, whichever temple we go, they give us prasad. Now also you are going to get prasad. You're going to eat nice Ekadashi prasad today. And then fourth thing, okay, I have chanted, I have taken some prasad, I took the association of devotees, I read books. Then what? Is the engagements, doing service to the God. Everyone is talented in some field by Lord's grace. You will always find somebody is intelligent, somebody is artistic, somebody is visionary. So many talents a person has. We can engage in some service for the Lord's pleasure. Arjuna was a warrior. He fought for Krishna. Squirrel associated building the bridge of Lanka. You know this squirrel and building a there's a squirrel. She was, these all big monkeys were carrying big stones. Recently, I went to Hampi. If you want to see the stones which monkeys carried, they were really huge. So after completing the bridge, whatever remained, they came and dumped in Hampi. So those stones they were carrying and putting, and they're making big bridge. Suddenly, a small squirrel she came in between, and she used to take some few grains of a sand, and she used to go and put on the bridge. So हनुमान जी came and said, बाजू हट, क्या बीच में आ रहे? इससे क्या फर्क पड़ने वाला? Lord Ram came and said that this particular service of a squirrel is also pleasing to me. It's very important. Let her continue this service. So squirrel assisted in building the bridge of Lanka, attracted Lord Ram's grace. And then it is said that Lord Ram he pulled 3 fingers on the body of a squirrel, and that's why we see the squirrel has these 3 white lines on the body. A fruit vendor lady lovingly gave all of her fruits to Krishna in Vrindavan. So every living entity, as soon as he engages himself in the service of Krishna, he gets a lot of happiness, he gets a lot of peace. So whatever talents we have, we can engage like this. A computer specialist can do something for Krishna. One who knows good singing can sing for Krishna. One who knows good cooking for Krishna and his devotees. One who is knowing the painting. And this, this is a change ISKCON has brought. Around 60 years before ISKCON has established in America. And then it began with America, then Europe, and then so many countries all over the globe. And then all the people from globe became devotee of God. And then they use their talent. So many things like that. So we will not go through this poem. That's how we see that this material world is full of misery, spiritual world is full of bliss, and the solution to go from a material world to spiritual world is A, B, C, D, E. Easy, eh? Just say A, B, C, D, E, and then we go. So it's very easy, my dear friends. Please associate with devotees and understand more about it, by which you will be benefited. Hare Krishna. Any question? So everything is understood? No question means everything is understood, or nothing is understood. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So please arrange for prasadam. It's 8:30 now.